Well, school vacation keeps us busy with some exciting Raiders action on this week's episode of Raiders Sports Block. Starting off first with girls lacrosse, already kicking off this season with a solid 4-0 record, look to keep their offense rolling against the struggling Milton Wildcats. Before the first minute of the opening half passes by, the Wildcats are the first to get on the board with a shot that gets by Carly Boyle for a quick Milton 1-0 lead. But very next draw is won by the Raiders, and Kylie Noonan and Caroline Bradley help kick this half into high gear with key scores. And after Noonan dishes it to Cecily Doctor for a quick stick goal, it's a 7-1 Raider lead that forces a Milton timeout. Another Wellesley goal before Wildcats get a scoring chance here. The ball hits off Boyle's stick and bounces around till it finds the net. Milton is now down 8-2. But this team somehow finds a way to score 2 more times, and now the Wildcats are only down 9-4, cutting the deficit to a little bit more manageable, at least for the moment. As Raiders, by dominating the draws, close the first half with a solid 8-0 run, backed up yet again by 2 goals apiece from Kylie Noonan and Caroline Bradley. Cecily Doctor's great feed here behind net in the last few seconds of the first finds Caitlin Tchaikovsky, whose laser shot into the cage makes it 17-4 at the half. Final period, and Milton just can't fight their way back into a matchup when they're down by a staggering 13 goals. And Wellesley adds 3 more scores to make it an outstanding 20 goals on the day. Sparked by 5 scores from Kylie Noonan and a hattie from Caroline Bradley, Raiders respond down 1-0 early in the first, blowing out Wildcats the rest of the way 20-3. Wellesley goes to 5-0 on the season, while Milton remains winless. Final here, Wellesley 20, Milton 4. Baseball would also be playing at Sprague Field on Wednesday morning in a non-league matchup with the Catholic Memorial Knights. Looking for their second win early in the season, freshman Jack Tishman would get the start on the mound for Wellesley. Top second, Knights batting, and Declan O'Malley leading off the inning just crushes the first pitch he sees, putting up Catholic Memorial 1-0 with just 1 swing of the bat. Bottom of that same inning, back-to-back singles for the Raiders put runners on the corners with 1 out. But a hit and run does not go as planned when Jack Tishman does not swing. Aaron Clancy throws out the runner on first, and pinch runner Michael Carbonero makes the break late, but gets tagged out at home. Bang-bang defense for the Knights helps them get out of this inning unscathed, still leading 1-0. Bottom third, Jack Tishman with a great double that lands just out of reach of a diving Pat Frizerko for a leadoff hit. Ethan Murphy then lays down a perfect sacrifice bunt that moves up the runner to third. Brenna Dolan then tries to squeeze in yet another bunt, but it goes right to pitcher Tyler Bell. Yet again, Aaron Clancy ends another Wellesley rally at the plate to secure the 1-run Knights lead. Top fifth, Knights start to pull away here in the game. First and second, nobody out. Pitcher Tyler Bell helps his cause, driving it deep to center for a ground rule RBI double. 2-0, and Knights are still threatening. But after Tishman's wild pitch goes to the backstop, Ethan Murphy quickly gathers it, and this time, Raiders get to tag out a runner at the plate. Kyle Winwood then ground out to Brad Marchetti, and Wellesley gets out of that jam, only allowing 1 more run. Fifth inning, Raiders still down 2-0. Davis Wall pitching in relief. Bases are loaded up with Knights until Trevor Cooley rips a 2-run single deep to right, and it's 4-0. Still with runners on the corners, Declan O'Malley, already having scorched the ball in the second, drives in the runner from third base, and the Raiders' deficit is now by 5 runs. Raiders just can't get anything going as Tyler Bell is just lights out for Catholic Memorial, and Bell would pitch a complete game shutout for the Knights as the Raiders lose yet another tough one at home. The final score, 5-0. So we end this sports block with girls lacrosse back at it again at Sprague on Saturday as the Raiders get set to face a talented team in the Hingham Harbor women, who already boast a sophomore commit to Duke in Abby Landry. But this Wellesley team will be more than up to the challenge, taking the opening draw downfield without hesitation, and Cecily Doctor feeds it to Kylie Noonan for the first score of the day, only 10 seconds into the first half. Hingham would take a quick 2-1 lead though with back-to-back scores by Abby Landry before Raiders quickly erase that deficit, as Sophie Vernon stutter steps around Kate Sullivan and nets in the equalizer. That 2-2 tie would last only seconds, though, as the very next draw, Cecily Doctor's top shelf goal helps Raiders retake the lead here, 3-2. Freshman Caitlin Tchaikovsky continues to impress, as she gets hit, loses possession, but scoops up the ball and whips it into the cage as we're halfway through the first. Raiders with a 4-2 edge. Later, after the ball goes out of bounds, Wellesley still has possession and a heads-up play by Brooke Swan as she sees the opening and just takes it in herself and past goalie Abby Lee. And with 5 goals unanswered, the Raiders are leading 6-2. 3 seconds to go in the opening half, and on the restart, Caitlin Tchaikovsky nets a Hattie just as time expires. And behind a strong 25 minutes of defense in net for goalie Carly Boyle here in the first, Abby Landry has a hat trick of her own as well for Hingham, but Boyle has shut down everyone else. So the score here going into halftime is Raiders 8, Harbor Women 3. Here in the second, not even a minute has ticked away, and not to be outdone, Sophie Vernon, looking to center, finds separation around Erin Lynch and buries a hat trick of her own. Vernon then later with the assist as Caitlin Tchaikovsky's game-high 5th score comes here on a quick stick goal, as it's now an 11-3 Wellesley advantage. Hingham starts to wake up, though, as they counter down by 8 goals, as Abby Landry feeds it up ahead to Haley Sullivan. And Sullivan finally scores one that's not by Landry, and are now down 11-4. With just under 5 minutes to go, Abby Landry's 4th goal of the game makes it 11-5 Raiders and forces a timeout. But Sophie Vernon's clutch 4th goal for Wellesley would be the momentum killer for any Hingham comeback, as the next 2 scores do go Hingham's way, but it's too little too late, as Carly Boyle stands her ground between the pipes, not giving up this Raider lead. Great challenge for this Raider team to face, as Hingham is not an easy team to beat, as earlier in the season, Hingham only lost by 1 goal to the number 1 9-0 Needham Rockets. But Wellesley took control early after being down by 1. So as the Raiders improved to 6-0 on the season, the final score here at Sprague, Wellesley 12, Hingham 7. Well, that does it for this week's episode of Raiders Sports Block. As always, thanks for watching. Wellesley Public Media gets you the coverage you need to catch up on all Raiders highlights. Check us out on demand at wellesleymedia.org, our YouTube channel under Wellesley Media Corporation, and right here on Comcast 9 and Verizon 39.